Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. A 29 Palms man with violent felony convictions was arrested on suspicion of forcible rape and burglary. On Friday, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department received a report from an unidentified victim that someone had broken into their home and that they had been raped. The victim identified the suspect to the Sheriff's Department as Fabian Morales, a 47-year-old resident of 29 Palms. Morales was contacted by deputies just before midnight at his home in the 6000 block of Australia Avenue in 29 Palms, where he was taken into custody. In 2022, Morales pled guilty to assaulting sheriff's deputies in 29 Palms after an incident in which he is alleged to have threatened to drive over a deputy during a traffic stop. Fabian Morales was arrested for investigation into rape and burglary and is currently being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $1 million bail. He is expected to be arraigned today in San Bernardino County Superior Court on felony charges of rape by force or fear, being a felon in possession of a firearm, and first-degree burglary, with enhancements for prior violent felony convictions. A new fueling station for large trailer trucks may be coming to serve the high desert's two state highways. Here is reporter Adeline J. Wells with more on this proposed development.
At last week's meeting, the Yucca Valley Planning Commission discussed a potential new project initiated by Circle K. The town received a pre-application for the potential construction of a second Circle K site on Highway 247 designed to fuel semi-trucks and other large vehicles. Its proposed site is on the adjacent property, slightly southwest of the existing Circle K gas station. If it moves forward, the project will take some technical work to mitigate the traffic of both highways, as noted by Deputy Town Manager Shane Stuckel.
Pretty sensitive area in terms of speeds coming down the grade, people getting up to speed to go up the grade, and the traffic in and out of that site. So that's a technical issue that the engineers will have to work on.
While the fueling station project is still in the early planning stages of development, Circle K is already one of the most prominent fuel companies serving the Morongo Basin, with its sites on expansion. There are currently 4 Circle K stations operating in the high desert, with a 5th station in development in Morongo Valley along 29 Palms Highway. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Adeline J. Wells.
In an ongoing effort to align city development codes with state codes and clarify language, Community Development Director for the City of 29 Palms, Keith Gardner, presented proposed changes to codes pertaining to mobile home parks, RV parks, and campgrounds before the 29 Palms Planning Commission in their 4th public hearing on the matter. Reporter Heather Clisby was there.
Last night, the 29 Palms Planning Commission hosted a public hearing on development code changes for mobile home parks, RV parks, and campgrounds, and an approved resolution was reached. The proposed changes will soon appear before the 29 Palms City Council for their consideration and possible approval. Several residents approached the commission with concerns, primarily around proposed restrictions of parks and campgrounds in rural living zones and limitations of density caps. Allowing commercial development in rural living zones was an issue the commission wrestled with back and forth, ultimately deciding to leave the code as is and allow for RV parks and campgrounds in all rural living zones, in addition to commercial tourist and public zones. The city currently has no commercial campgrounds and no development plans have been submitted. Changes include requiring common laundry facilities at mobile home parks, and increasing minimum lot sizes to 10 acres for RV parks and campgrounds, implementing a 50-foot setback from all property lines, and requiring trash enclosures. After much discussion, the commission agreed to increase the maximum density size to 15 spaces per acre for campgrounds and RV parks. The commission also canceled 2 upcoming meetings on November 5th and on December 3rd. The 2 remaining meetings of the year will be held on November 19th and December 17th. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
The Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors meets in regular session tonight at 6 p.m. in Covington Park's multipurpose room. Reporter Gabriel Hart has a look at the meeting's agenda.
For new business on the agenda, the board will discuss a residential fire hazard abatement program, where MVCSD would pay roughly $11,400 per year to have the county visually inspect properties, issue citations, enforce those citations, abate the property if necessary, and collect all fees associated with that process. The inspections would happen twice a year, spring and fall, utilized as a fire prevention program safety measure that will help reduce the risk of wildland fires due to non-defensible spaces in the area. For the Lexipol Service Agreement for Policy Manual, the Firefighter Auxiliary has agreed to pay the down payment of $950 out of the total amount of $3,750. Lexipol has agreed to defer payment to December with quarterly payments of $950. It is recommended that the Board of Directors review, discuss, and approve the Lexipol Service Agreement for an updated Fire Department Policy Manual. Lexipol provides resources to help reduce risk, improve public safety policy, and deliver effective fire department corrections, EMS, and law enforcement training and wellness in California. Both of the Morongo Valley Fire Department's EKG monitors need their annual preventative maintenance and calibration to ensure that they are working properly. Previously, the MVFD have used a preventative maintenance contract through Stryker, costing $5,000 annually. Coast Biomedical would be a less costly alternative to Stryker, and it is recommended that the Board of Directors review, discuss, and approve the biomedical credit application. Lastly, the Board will review, discuss, and approve a promotional enrollment for the Voluntary Revenue Plan, an effort by the district to collect additional revenue that can quickly impact the budget, to ensure services are available for the community of Morongo Valley by properly maintaining equipment and offering comparable wages to retain highly trained professionals. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
An ambitious agenda is on tap tonight for Yucca Valley's High Desert Water District. And down the highway in Joshua Tree, the agenda is much the same. The meeting in Yucca Valley begins promptly at 4:30 p.m., while the gavel in Joshua Tree comes down an hour later at 5:30 p.m. Here's reporter Mike Lipsitz with your Wednesday Water Roundup.
Following priority project updates, directors at the High Desert Water District will consider a contract with Sukut Construction and West Coast Civil to complete the final design and construction of the new Phase 2 sewer collection system. And in other business, staff is recommending the board approve an agreement to rehabilitate Well 20. Today's meeting takes place at the district office on the highway at Inca Trail. And down the highway in Joshua Tree, the Joshua Basin Water District Board will look at charge reports and investment performance for the fiscal year ending this past June. Also tonight, the board will review and likely adopt an updated investment policy. That meeting takes place at the district office on Choita Road in Joshua Tree. See this story at Z107.7fm.com for links to both agendas, which include instructions for remote attendance. Reporting for Z107.7 News, this is Mike Lipsitz.
The conversation about entertainment permits continues at tomorrow's meeting of the 29 Palms Tourism Business Improvement District, known as the TBID. The TBID board will host a discussion on the topic of entertainment and event permits with Keith Gardner, the city's Director of Community Development. The topic of requiring entertainment permits for events in 29 Palms has been discussed at City Council and Planning Commission meetings over the last few months. The board will also continue discussing marketing issues and will review the timeline for event grant considerations. Tomorrow's meeting is open to the public and begins at 3:30 p.m. at 29 Palms City Hall. And finally, Mojave Artists of Color Collective present an evening not soon to be forgotten this weekend. Arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas says you should not miss this opportunity at a 2-in-1 experience.
Mojave Artists of Color Collective present Being Seen, an evening of spoken word, music, and live performance, Saturday, October 19th at Art Trap in Joshua Tree. Doors open at 6 p.m., performances begin at 6:30 p.m. This event is free and open to the public. Refreshments provided. Donations to the Abraham family will be accepted. Performers include Douglas Blanc, Mary Hunter, Rachel Sklar, Maya Jensen, and Terrence Latimer. Art Trap is at 61961 Sunburst Circle in Joshua Tree. This performance showcase is in conjunction with the Being Seen exhibition currently on view at the Glass Outhouse Gallery in 29 Palms. Curated by Yvonne Buchanan, the show features works by 13 members of the Artist of Color Collective, including painting, photography, fiber arts, sculpture, mixed media, and drawing. This exhibition runs through October 26th. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Arts and Entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas.
That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmatz.